So how can we make the people not to become a thief? By educating, by showing them, look.
Technically, that should be the work of the nonprofit, since the government itself doesn't want to take on that role. But the problem is, and I'm gonna blame the consumer on this one. The problem is the consumer throwing money at the problem and not actually wanting to see how things are trying to get fixed. So how do you guys think you can reach the consumer? Or what is a way that you can educate the consumer to be like, hey, why don't you actually go visit these nonprofits and see how it is they're trying to fix a problem?
Oh,
How are you fixing the problem?
Like,
Yeah, because they're going to be honest with you. They're going to be honest with you.
wait, what? Oh, yeah. I understand.
Good luck with that, Josh. Well,
That's like asking me if I bought another pair of shoes today. I'm going to say no.
No, of course not.
Well, that's like going, like I said, going to give.org where they do the evaluations and making sure before you're just throwing money at somebody that you understand what all that money is being allocated for. It's just like BBB.org, it's one of those before you donate to these nonprofits, make sure that you understand and go to a trusted site that's evaluating these folks, because they have to provide their 990s. They have to provide that documentation to them in order to get that stamp of approval.
I think like when you're a kid, I feel like the only exposure that I ever had to anything that was like drug related, if you will, was like the DARE program, in like 5th grade.
what program?
The DARE program. They'd come in, they tell you a little bit about something, and then they leave and you never hear about it again. So is it an educational thing? Like, is it something to where people need to hear more consistently or be exposed to it more to, I guess, understand it?
What about the hunger issue?
But see, it's like, I feel like that's even something to where if as a society we exposed our kids more to like people that are less fortunate than yourself, then you have more of an appreciation for what you have. They understand it a little bit better.
Experience, definitely. Like you said, like exposing your kid to those things, but they won't know unless they see it with their eyes and actually like experience that. So yeah.
Well, making a stronger families. Because everything starts with the family. Usually the kids are more to do that are kids without father. Nowadays the mother works so hard that what time does the mother have for the kids? If there is only one, or the father if it's only one. So maybe more program to
Like the dynamic 2 years ago was different. Dad worked, mom stayed at home, raised the kids. So there was always someone involved.
exactly.
And now it's completely different.
Even the school systems. I mean, when I was growing up, I got all my information, don't do this and don't do that, through the schools. Nonprofits will come to the school and talk about the issues. And as you grow up, you're hearing it constantly. So you're learning not to engage in bad behavior.
Go ahead.
There used to be a soda program. My niece had it, it's SODA.
I
At the
don't think they do that
They
anymore.
don't do it? That's not long ago. Wow.
Yeah, I can't think of anything like that Logan's had. He's only in 10th grade. They do sex education,
But that's
but they don't
like,
do drugs or,
Right.
I remember we said, what was
Well,
we
it,
had a-
rough?
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like you had like
Yeah,
beer, but
right.
McGruff, and then you didn't have anything, and then you had sex ed, and then you still just didn't have anything. And then you wonder why there's kids popping up
No,
pregnant.
there wasn't really any
Anything in
program.
your school?
No,
You didn't?
not, like maybe super young in like middle school, but that stuff will go over your head when you're in high school and when it's actually a problem. When people are actually starting to delve into that, nothing was really said.
The parents need to be, well, I always think the parents need to be involved in the schools to make sure the school have those programs.
I think so.
But at the end, I pay taxes too. I could go and get involved, you know,
Well, the
because
programs are a lot different too than they used to be. Like I said, I remember being in school and you got specific things and you were taught specific things. Now it's completely different for these kids.
Yeah.
but I think that is because the parents allowed them. Wouldn't they have to, what are the PTA groups for? To
Mhm.
talk about donuts?
Pretty much. Car washes.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what's happening now. It's not, now it's their, I know with my daughter, they're mixing you're learning like the trans stuff, the bisexual, all of that stuff. Whereas when I was in school, you're learning, sex ed, and we were learning about like, don't drink NyQuil because NyQuil is going to make you have an alcohol overdose with the drug program. Like, I had never heard that in my entire life. But what they're learning now versus what we learned then are just, it's very different. And it's fallen off of what it should be. And then you have parents that don't want to have the conversations.
To explain that that's not the norm. That has,
I mean, I guess that, but like, do you think that too, when you have like a third grader or a fourth grader, do you have to be having drug conversations or sex ed conversations? But then I think too, as a society, we don't look at the change in the community either for what was happening in 10th grade in 1990s, probably happening in third grade in 2024, which is scary.
I think kids are just portraying a lot of love due to just like younger people being exposed to the internet. So
Social media.
as a
Everything.
parent, just being comfortable with having those conversations at a younger and younger age, is something that I would have to get used to. But probably something that definitely has to happen.